A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, brewed a great struggle against boredom and the dark side of the Force, led by the galactic adventurers, two Skinnee Jays. Traveling at light speed, armed with their lightsabers, these amateur Jedi Knights have trekked for 3 long years in tireless pursuit of their goal. Now the hour is at hand. The Jays are on the cusp of ultimate victory, but Imperial forces have tracked their movements and are closing in for their capture. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, may the Force be with you. And if anyone asks, these are not the Jays you're looking for.
This whole thing came about 3 years ago when I was at a party drunk with Jay. And Jay was in this band called Fishburger $2.20.
That's right.
And I was really desperate to get on stage, and I said, well, hey, Jay, I had this epiphany, and I was like, well, you know, Jay, we could do this song and with your band, and we could just call ourselves the Two Skinnee Jays. And Jay looked at me with a small grin and walked away like he usually did whenever I talked to him. But the next day he came back, and he had these lyrics to the first song that we ever wrote about being two-dimensional, about being so thin that we were two-dimensional, and that started it all. And the next thing you knew, we were writing lyrics and recording in our friends' rooms with these hilarious drum machines. And we put this thing together, this like small collection of, I guess 5 people at the time, and we played this show. And it was entirely a joke. It was never meant to be.
4 songs at the time.
Yeah, 4 songs. They were all we intended what the whole thing would be is like other rap bands, we would take riffs from other people's music and loop them effectively and just play it over and over again and then do lyrics over them. And but we were trying to take stuff from different areas, you know, like 60s music or country music, things like that.
Tchaikovsky.
Exactly. And then we played this show, and it was meant to be a joke, and all of a sudden there were 400 people there, and they all loved it. And we didn't know what to do, so we played again. And 3 years later, the joke is way bigger than we ever imagined. The joke is paying for our
It's bigger
our
than
rent.
us, really.
Yeah, it's much larger than we are.
Sure.
My name is Special J. I came out to New York about 7 years ago from Nebraska, where I come from. I went to college with a lot of the people in this band. We went to Columbia together. And started this silly band, and while I was doing the band, most of the time I was working for this eccentric civil rights leader, Michael Myers, not the guy from the Halloween films. And I'd work these crazy long hours, come in the middle of practices, and basically be bent over chairs and spanked by my fellow bandmates until I finally quit about 4 months ago. And now I wake up in the morning somewhere between 8 o'clock and 3 in the afternoon, depending on the day, and I live the skinny life, and that whatever that takes me to do.
I'm Joey Viterbo, and I graduated from Columbia University with a degree in physics. I spent the next 16 months working at Columbia under a NASA program. It was actually a multinational program that we were working on an experiment to go on a Russian rocket at the end of '95. Called the Stellar X-ray Polarimeter. I was in charge of calibrating the engineering model of proportional counters. However, at the same time, I was also playing on weekends with Jay and Joel and the rest of the Two Skinnee Jays. And eventually, we got sent out to California, and there I saw the light. You know, we have a saying in this business: if you want to film the sunset, you film the sunset. So I decided to stop fucking around and just do this full time. So then I had to find a day job. Unfortunately, I wasn't too good at being a sales representative. I don't really have a very pleasant phone demeanor, if you will. So that didn't work out. I spent the next couple of months unemployed. Then I saw the light again and realized I needed to become a bike messenger. Eddie here explained to me that bike messengers are the last cowboys of Manhattan. So I joined up with that troupe, had a great time. Got hit 3 times by automobiles, decided it was time to get out. But by that time, we were supporting ourselves with gigs, and here we are today. Nowadays, I wake up in the morning, go rebuild the engine on the truck, say, balance all the books for this band and many others, and remodel the apartment a little bit. Then we head off to practice, then play a gig somewhere in South Carolina. and that's what my life is.
I'm Jay Slim. When I was 3, I broke my nose because I was lip syncing to Mick Jagger, Street Fighting Man. And ever since then, I've been a street fighting man, basically. I went to Columbia, graduated in '92, having already started the Skinnee Jays with Joel. And after graduating, I held maybe 16 different jobs up to about now. Among them, I worked for Random House, I worked for a couple magazines, I worked for Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, a children's TV show where I'd work like 12 hours a day and then go to rehearsal for 3 hours and get 4 hours sleep. And it was good, it was all good. The best thing that probably came of the Carmen Sandiego was when my boss pointed to an ad in the Village Voice and said, "Hey, you should audition for this." And what it was Dick Clark's Battle of the Bands '93. Which we won and wound up taking us to California. It was a glorious time. But since then, I was one of the first to realize that there was just no time for day jobs. So I've been on unemployment for about a year. And then that ran out, and I'm on the skinny dole now. I live in Brooklyn, Bushwick Province. I spend my days writing lyrics, building package materials, recording, gigging, rehearsing, ripping linoleum floors out. Whatever the skinny world calls for on that particular day. And I must say, I've never been happier.
My name is Andy Action, and I met Jay Slim back in high school when we lived together in New Jersey in adjoining towns, adjacent towns, I should say. And we played together in an all Spinal Tap cover band called Pinal Sap. And to this day, I don't think I've surpassed the glory of the stage show that Pinal Sap brought to my high school, and I nearly got kicked out. I went up scrubbing tables for about 3 weeks after that. But you know, it was worth it. I went to college at the New School for Social Research, and I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Jazz Studies, which is very comical to me. And over the last couple of years, since we parted ways with our old management group, I have been running the phones for this motley crew of individuals, and I have to say that each day at 9 a.m. the beeps start coming in and they do not stop. And that's the story of my life.
Hey Jay, I'm getting kinda hungry, yeah, I'm getting kinda hungry, yeah, I'm getting kinda hungry. Here we go.
My name is The Spice, and I'm the newest member of the Skinnee Jays. I joined at the end of July, and I'm from Connecticut. In fact, the way I joined the band was kind of freak, kind of crazy. I was in another band, and a ska band actually, and I was playing trombone in that, and we played a gig down in New Haven, and that same night, Skinnee Jays were playing with us. And right after our set, this guy runs up to me with long hair. He looked like Chris Cornell. But kind of had a Fu Manchu on his face too. And I actually thought that when I saw him, this weirdo was that, he came up and asked me, and he said, "Would you mind filling in for us? We're going on tour." And actually at the time, I just graduated high school, and I was taking a couple of years off and didn't know what I was going to do. And Eddie Eyeball was the guy who asked me and mentioned that we're going up to LA, and I thought, well, this is pretty cool. So I filled in on a tour in July, and I fell in love with it. I headed off with the band members really well. And by the end of the tour, they had a gig in New York and they asked me to join, and I said yes.
My name is Eddie Eyeball, but most of my friends just call me Eyeball. And what I did is I went to college at Manhattanville, small school, and I pursued, believe it or not, business, which I'm always mocked by the other band members, business administration, because I appear to be so unorganized in life. And then after I graduated, I had to decide, what do I want to do? What I love, or what I paid multi-$1,000s, well, actually what I still owe in loans for. And I decided to rock. And to rock, I could not be a banker and a rock and roller, so I've had all kinds of odd jobs to support this rock fix, all kinds of silly stuff, which basically the only reason I do it is because I want to rock day and night.
And the irony of the Skinnee J's is that when I joined the Skinnee J's, when I was asked to join, I was actually playing in several other bands. I was quite the mercenary at that time. And I took the Skinnee J's gig because I thought it'd just be fun. A good balance compared to all the other serious music that I was making at the time, what I thought was serious. And the irony is that now the Skinnee J's are all I do, day and night. And I'm glad that I can rock all the time.
So Jay, what do you think about the music of the two Skinnee J's? I mean, what are we all about?
The music is by far the most important element of the band. We're all classically trained musicians. Myself, I've had 8 years of operatic training with Dee Snider, and basically we look for the most exotic time signatures we can find to start with when we build a rhythm track.
That's right.
And it goes from there. Out keys,
it's actually
half tone, quarter tone, third tone, it doesn't matter.
It's very statistically dense, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right.
In fact, it goes beyond the 12-tone system entirely, and we use computers. We use abaci.
We use frequencies that like the human ear actually can't distinguish between. So it's like
when you listen to one of our songs,
we're challenging you to like move beyond your humanity. You know, become a dog, for example, something like that. Like honestly, like you know, we're not very good.
No.
We're not a good band. We're not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna look you in the face and say, hey.
We're a good band.
We're a good band. No, we're not gonna say that. But one thing we will say is that that what we do that other people don't seem to do is go out and have a good time. And like I know it's always confused me that other bands like don't go out just to have a good time.
It's true. We've met more grumpy bands on stage.
Yeah.
Like the two Skinnee J's, even if you've had a 15-hour bus ride, and Ed has been like sleeping on you the entire way, smelling you, your clothes, your belongings up with his Ed stink. You are not allowed to be grumpy on stage.
That's right.
I mean, it's unwritten. I mean, it doesn't have to be written down anywhere. It's not written. You can't find it written down somewhere. So if you're looking, you won't find it. The point is, we just like being on stage is more fun than most people are allowed to do ever. And if you don't recognize that and exploit it and utilize it, then you're not a Skinnee. Like that's what being a Skinnee is all about. We have this rare opportunity, this rare niche in the world.
Well, think about it. We're all the kind of people who, when we go out to a club and we pay $5, $10, $15, $20 to get in, we expect to be entertained, right?
That's right.
And we see the flip side of that when we're on stage. Everybody out there, now, we don't know them. They may be good people, bad people. We don't care. They paid money to see us, and they deserve a good time. And that's what the Skinnees are about, is more entertainment value for your dollar.
We can basically, I think we can safely say that we're one of the best, probably the best entertainment value for your dollar.
Of all history, I think, in fact, you know, like, if you're paying, like, if you see something for free, of course, like, there might be a better entertainment value, but
Not
you're
likely.
gonna pay.
Not bloody likely.
You're probably right, because, like, you're wasting time then.
Oh, definitely pound per pound.
Oh, absolutely.
And pound per pound, the most entertainment you can possibly get.
Not to mention the rock factor, just the quantity of rocking.
We have a very high rock ratio.
The music isn't the point in and of itself. It's just the starting point, if you will, and I will if you will. It's just a question of using the music as a springboard
Catalyst.
to something else. The Skinnee show it's an entity unto itself. It's the whole package. It's the costumes, it's the props, it's the attitude, it's the moment, it's the interaction with the audience on that particular night because they did something particularly silly and we picked up on it.
It's the
Or got them to
lifestyle.
do something else particularly silly that night. And every show is different, or at least the good ones are. I mean, when it's not, we know something's wrong and have to change it.
Right. Another thing about us was that in playing, we've noticed a lot of, like, you know, rock and roll people, other bands we played, like, take themselves so seriously. Like, they have, like, you can tell they, like, believe in their music and they believe in, like, everything that they're doing.
Some
And they
people,
have-
music is their flesh and blood.
That's true. It is true. But for us, like, the whole thing is about making fun of ourselves and, like, you know, like, pointing out our inadequacies, our weaknesses, and, like, self-mockery. And in that way, like, we're able to share, like, so much more of ourselves than your average
And
band.
because, like, at the same time that we stand out as this unique band, we're also the every band. I mean, I would have to say that's true because we're just regular people. We're just regular guys. We're a bunch of geeks who found each other somehow and created this thing, got up and did it. I mean, I sure as hell am not a singer, yet I'm one of the lead vocalists of this band who's doing all right, and that, though like, Ed and Andy are probably.
And let me tell you, that pisses off like other bands to no end. To no end. To no end. To see us get up there, and then we'll play, and they'll just be like, shit.
Because we're just guys who love what we're doing, not guys who set out to particularly do it.
Right. Well, one of the interesting things about the Two Skinnee J's is our name. Actually, the Two Skinnee J's refers nothing to the fact that the two lead singers' first names start with J.
No.
The word two has nothing to do with the number two. Again, despite the fact that there are two singers whose names begin with J.
Right.
The two merely represents a, as too much, larger than.
Altogether, two.
Entirely.
Altogether,
too.
entirely two.
drugs.
And it's certainly not a drug reference.
Absolutely. We have none of that for you.
No, in fact, no. We are Two Skinnee J's.
The band.
The band. Well, one thing I can say about our lyrics is they're virtually all true. They're all true, in fact. They're all based on fact.
Absolute fact.
When we go down to write a song, like we picked the topic. We decided to write a song about Evel Knievel. And what do? Like what would a lot of songwriters, they just sit down and start to write, but not us.
Nope.
We're Columbia trained researchers.
Yep.
We went to the library. We looked up Evel Knievel. In fact, it was no easy search.
No, it wasn't.
We had to really look through periodicals from the early to mid '70s.
We were working on ancient microfilm, with those like crazy
It's
rubber.
brittle, it's
copies.
cracking under us, but we're persevering. We're using new techniques in the research library until we find out everything that we thought was pertinent about Evel Knievel.
Yeah,
And we
stuff.
edited it down. Basically, if you were to look at the words to that song, we did the work for you. All our songs work this way. Like our song Two Dimensional, it's basically a testament of the skinny life. It's facts. It's all facts. All our songs are either autobiographical,
Yep.
or just about the plain truth. We don't speak in metaphors. There aren't too many levels to what's going on here. It's not elaborate symbol systems. It's just the way it is.
Right.
Basically, the skinny perspective, the skinny take on what's going on. Whether it's our high metabolisms in food, it's the joy and universality of barbecues.
If this band does not become, the most important, musical entity of the 90s, which we hope to do, I don't think any of us would be really upset if we don't succeed in that sense.
Well, we have
Because yeah, in a way, just the fact that we do it every day, it's a success story every day, We do a lot of things we do many things bands don't ever even think of doing. And we do it
What they
well.
dream of doing, yeah.
And at the end of the
it's true.
At the end of the day, I think everyone in this band feels good despite the hardships and the struggles.
We've all had jobs, we've all worked for other people, and right now, we can truly say we work for ourselves, doing what we want to do,
Yeah.
focusing on what we believe in and what we're creating, and that is in itself a good feeling, even if you're making no money.
No, I mean this band went from being a joke to one of the more successful unsigned bands in New York City, arguably the capital of the civilized universe. I mean, we're doing really well. We're playing all the time. We do nothing but band-related stuff, and a lot of people would like to be able to say that.
Yeah.
But I bet you knew this. Skinny and Tony and Skinny and Tony. You gotta get